All right, so we should be live right now, but before we kind of get things underway, is there anything that you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out?
Obviously, I just want to recognize my family and everything that they've done for me, and especially my two brothers. They both played. One played college basketball, one's still playing. So, and they've kind of led the way for me. So, those are the two groups that I just needed to shout out.
Yeah, and I kind of get concerned about this. Like, there's so many, I guess, considered good basketball players out there, like good people for me to interview out there. So it's like there's a good high chance I'm gonna forget some names and everything. Like, are your brothers like extremely famous, or am I gonna look like an idiot, like, for like not knowing who they are?
No, no, they're not that famous. My one brother just he goes to Northwestern, and my other brother played at NYU, which is a D3 school. So,
Okay, yeah, bro. So your brothers are both like pretty smart, I assume.
oh yeah, I mean they're both pretty smart. They mainly just went to play basketball. They just look for
Yeah,
those fast.
but obviously, like, you can't get recruited to Northwestern if you're not, if you're just wait, crap. Is that Blake? Whoa, that's crazy. Oh, never mind. It was clickbait. It was clickbait. There's this one like I saw on Instagram real quick. I was gonna search up your brother. Like, there's one page where they have the most like clickbait like thumbnails. It was like Blake
Uh,
Griffin and like crazy long hair. Like, bro, that kind of made me mad. But yeah, man, Northwestern. That used to be my dream school actually. Like, I've gone to like the campus a couple of times. I told you like my dad's from that Chicago area. But like I have like Northwestern gear and everything. I wanted to go there so bad, so I saw how hard it is to get in.
yeah, it's hard to get into.
Yeah, that school's and the whatever like the town like we took like a road like where you pass what are those like nice like mansion towns or like when you go to
Oh,
Northwestern?
it's Wilmette.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that place is definitely nice for sure. But
yeah,
yeah, what's your opinion? Like I think the Northwestern campus is crazy. I don't know if you think the same thing.
yeah. I go there a bunch to like play pickup with the guys and stuff. Their facilities are just so nice. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but like a big thing for me, like when I went there on campus, like my favorite color is purple. So I was like blown away. I don't know if purple is your favorite color, but that in itself was unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not that many purple schools out there, so
Yeah, I mean like there's like a few there's like TCU and Kansas State, and then NYU too. I mean, does your whole family like have like a thing with like purple or something like that?
I don't know. I don't know. We talked about it before, but I guess I'm gonna have to go purple somewhere or another.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean it's definitely my I don't know. Is that your favorite color or no?
I mean, my favorite color is red, but
Uh,
I like purple. I don't mind it.
Yeah, no, I'm a big. I used to not like purple because I was like, oh, the purple's like a girl color. But now I was like, after like a year of like that phase, I was like, nah, like the purple. Like I gotta stay loyal to my favorite color.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gotta rock with it. But this is what I asked. This is what I asked your teammate Cam from Mean Streets. I forgot. I don't know if it was. I might have posted that clip. I think I did. But like Chicago, it's so known for being like gritty and all that stuff, and like it's a tough environment to grow up in and everything. But where you live, like it's kind of nicer. Like my dad grew up, kind of like around where you live and everything. But what would you say is like the reputation that the suburbs of Chicago kind of have basketball wise?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say a lot of people think that like the only good players come out of the city. Like in reality, it's probably half and half. Like there's a ton of good, like really good players in the suburbs, like Cam, Max, like a bunch of other good guys. The whole Glenbard West starting lineups, like D1 players. So I think that it's definitely a really good competition no matter where you go. Like in the Chicagoland area, like we're only 20 minutes away, but I think that like the best teams from our area can compete with the best teams in the city.
For sure. And I'm not gonna. I was about to search something up just to like maybe like give me like inspiration for a question on Instagram, and I saw another clickbait thing. This time was Trey Young with like crazy long hair. Like I cannot. This stuff is crazy for sure. But I was thinking kind of more fun Chicago question. What's your opinion on the Chicago pizza? Do you like the Chicago pizza style, or do you like more the normal style of pizza?
I mean, yeah, I like the Chicago deep dish. That's my favorite. So I would say that's better than any other type of pizza. If anyone wants to argue it, like you just can't. You have to try it and then see. So
Yeah, it's I haven't had like because I haven't gone to Chicago in a little bit because of Corona and everything, but I haven't had like deep dish pizza in so long because I'm not gonna have it, in Florida. Like it's not,
yeah,
I don't want to risk it like eating bad deep dish pizza, but man, like it's so good. Like
yeah.
I don't know, like I eat pizza a lot, like it's probably one of my favorite foods, but no, I think it's definitely like probably like one of my favorites, for sure. It's crazy.
Mm. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and what about I know there's a good like fast food place over there called Portillo's. I mean, I know there's some in Florida too, but when I kind of like associate it with Chicago a little bit, what do you get? What do you get there?
I usually just when I go there, I get 2 hot dogs and fries. That's really it.
Yeah, what I get? I always get the Chicago dog. That's what I
Yeah,
always get. That stuff is crazy. It's so good.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't know what's it called? Like what's like super like the wet beef or whatever. What are they? I don't know what they call it,
Oh, it's called the dang. What's that called? I
bro.
don't
I
know.
can't.
Oh,
Either.
Italian beef. You
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
Italian beef, Italian beef. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We used to get that
No.
before every game, catered. So
Oh, okay. Oh, you have to eat that before games.
yeah, we would have a whole like Portillo's pasta party before every
Yeah.
game the night before.
Okay. Well, I guess like pasta sounds a little more like better because I was gonna say like that's like your pregame meal. Like that's pretty questionable.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
more.
Wait, what were you gonna say?
It's I was just saying it's more pasta than
Yeah,
like.
yeah, yeah. Bro, for my school, one year our pregame meal was actually like Chick-fil-A. That's crazy. Luckily, I don't play on my manager, but like it was
Oh
like Chick-fil-A and this place called Mission Barbecue,
yeah,
which I would think if I'm a player, man, that's like a bad pregame meal. But like for me, since I don't play, like I was so like happy because that's what I eat like
yeah,
during the week anyway. So it's pretty awesome.
yeah, it's a W. That is a W.
Yeah, yeah. It's a dub for me. And you get like like the cookies and everything, like all the other stuff is crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know with Illinois, just I guess Illinois, high school sports in general this year, I know it was like insane. Like, first you guys are gonna play, then it's like, oh wait, no, you're not gonna play anymore. All right, wait, we're gonna put your season here. Never mind, no more season. Then you guys, luckily, I think got to play for a little bit. What was it like going through the process of like all the changes about whether you guys are gonna have a season or not?
Yeah, I mean, it was really just it was such a horrible experience, like especially for a high school kid, like a kid like me and all the kids that played GBS. We were in the gym every day, going to practice, and our coach kept saying, "Oh, we don't know if we're gonna have a season," and then the next day it'll be like, "Oh, we have a season," and then a week later it'll be like, "Oh, it got canceled." So it was really crazy, and it was getting a lot harder to just keep your mind in it and keep your head in the game because like you really didn't know what you were like playing for at that point. It had been a year and a half since or a year since we had been able to even get back on the high school court. So we just we were kind of fed up with it, and I think that the governor knew that and he let us play even though it was a shortened season.
Yeah. And I'm wondering for you, your recruitment process obviously isn't the craziest thing. Was there, and obviously, like you missing a junior season would probably, affect you a lot and everything. Were there any thoughts like maybe I should like, thinking of maybe transferring to like a different state or like a different school or something like that if the season happened to get canceled?
Oh yeah, I definitely thought about prep school beforehand. Like there was a ton of prep schools that had reached out because they knew that we weren't playing. Like when it originally said it got canceled and everyone was posting about it, that's when like all the prep schools started to talk to me and ask me like what I was gonna do, and I was really close to actually like committing to one or two of them, but I just decided to stay home when I got the message. So
Yeah. And I'm sure like if you went to one of those prep schools, you probably played a lot more games, maybe get more experiences compared to staying home. So why'd you choose to, to stay home and play your high school instead of, leaving and playing at a prep school?
uh, I mean, I definitely it's really like a true community here in Glenview. Like there's 55,000 people and everybody wants to come to the games and everybody wants to support. Like if we had fans this year, it would have been a packed crowd every game because and we're really starting to flip the switch. Like 3 years ago, we hadn't had a winning record in like 5 or 6 years, and this year we were 16-2, and last year we were 29-5. So like, it's definitely like something that I put a lot of time into, and I just don't want to stop. Like, we're gonna keep climbing the ladder. I think this year we definitely should go to the state championship. So that's just why I wanted to stay.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I'm not gonna lie. Like I've heard of Glenbrook North, but not the school you're at for some reason. But I have a good feeling. Like yeah, I did ask you like, is that your rival? Like, what's the rivalry like? Just because like for my school's rivalry, like I live in a town called Weston. My school's called Cypress Bay, and our rival school is called Western. Like it doesn't. It's not like you have like the town's name in your high school, but I feel like it's so cool, so much cooler. Like having like Glenbrook North, Glenbrook South, like playing each other. It just sounds like cooler. So what's the rivalry games like?
Yeah, I would say the Glenbrook North Glenbrook South rivalry has been a thing since like feeder in third grade. Just every time we were playing Glenbrook North, we were marking it on the calendar. This year they really weren't that good. We took care of business both times with ease, but like they always give us like their hardest fight because they're coached really well, and the players are smart. I just thought we were way too talented this year to have a closer game with them. So
I know one of your teammates, Cam. I know he goes to like Buffalo Grove or whatever, which is probably like not extremely far from you, but maybe like 10, 15, 20 minutes away. I think, but is that someone that you got to face this season?
uh, we'll probably play them in like a Thanksgiving tournament. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would that, like, is that kind of a game you want to play the most? Because like, you're playing as one of your teammates and everything, or one of your AAU teammates you're playing.
Yeah, I definitely want to play against Cam. I think we're obviously in a lot better team, but I think that like playing against Cam would be really fun. Like it would be a big popular game, I think, for people to watch. So I would definitely love to play against Cam. Me and him always battle in practice, so it'll definitely be a lot of fun. We're really good friends. So
For sure. And playing with Mean Streets, before we maybe kind of get into like EYBL and playing for them and everything, I'm kind of asking like a lot of EYBL players. It looks like any player that I have interviewed recently, with the Monty Bates going to team final. I mean, what do you think about that? That is somebody that if you want to impeach him, you might have to face him.
yeah, I mean to be honest, like when we saw it, it really just gave us like a bigger reason to work hard and stay in the gym. We have just as much talent as any other team in the UIBL, and we know we can play with any team. So I think that we're not really worried about it. Like, if we go in the game and get our asses kicked, like, so be it. But we're gonna make sure that when we go into that game, win or lose, that whatever we did up until that point, we're proud of. Because we're really good. Like, we have Ty, Jalen, we have like 4 to 5 stars. So we definitely can compete with any team in the country. It's just all up to what we want to do on our own time and when we're at practice with each other.
And I definitely think like you guys probably are one of the favorites, maybe like top five, one of the top five teams in UIBL this year. Maybe kind of touch on a little more like just what makes you guys such a special team.
Oh yeah, I think like we play really good. We've been called out for this multiple times, and I've had coaches tell me this, like high school coaches, guys that have coached me in the past, just talking about how well we play the game of basketball. Like we don't go run down the court and jack up a shot in 5 seconds. Like we run sets and we know our personnel well. We sub at the right times. Like we're a legit AAU team. We're a legit basketball team. We do scout, like we do all that stuff. So I think that's one thing that will like push us ahead. And we're also so close with each other. Like Ty and Kareem stayed at my house 1 or 2 nights. Like when they were in Chicago, like I'm super close with them. Cam, I drive to practice every day. So like it's just we're all really close. There was one time when we were in Dallas the other weekend. We got back from the plane, which was like a 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. flight for us, and we were like coaches are just like everyone go get some sleep, and so instead of everyone going to their own rooms, everyone just came in one room. There was like 6 kids on the floor and 4 kids in each bed. So that's just type of stuff that I don't see a lot of other AAU teams doing, like having that bond with each other.
And I guess like how I mean, kind of share because I know those experiences. Like, I guess is that really what makes AU basketball special? Are like traveling on those trips and getting to build a bond with those teammates.
Oh yeah, that's a big part of it. Obviously, in my eyes, AAU is just it's like everything that you want as a basketball player. Like you get to play against the best competition. Your teammates are really good, so you're not going to get double, triple teamed. You get to create a genuine bond with people. You get to learn a lot. Like AAU, like in my situation, has done a lot for me. I obviously still have a ton to learn, but I think I learned a lot this season. And in July, we're going to be really, really hard to beat.
Yeah. And is this your first year playing for Mean Streets or what?
Yeah, this is my first year playing for like any circuit team.
Okay. So I guess maybe just to kind of keep it on the topic with like the bond you have with your teammates and everything, like how were you said you let some of them like stay over at your house and everything, and you would drive like Cam to practice or something like that. And with this being your first year with me and Streets on a circuit team in general, how were you able to really get close and build a connection to all those guys, or maybe they knew each other better from beforehand?
Yeah, I just remember like right off the bat when I met all the kids, like everyone was just already like so close, like kids that were already on the team in the past. Like, and I would text with them before we ever got together in March or whatever it was. And I think along with that, like the coaches really just when they put us through practice, like and we're going through drills and running and we'll always play like at practice it'll be like our team versus like alumni players like guys that are in college or that used to play for Mean Streets, and those games get really intense and physical. So if you're not like a family like and you truly like don't play for each other, then we're not going to win those games because those are real, like they will mess you up, push you, scratch, punch, get in your head, whatever they want to do.
So for your practices, like they always have like a bunch of like alumni or like other players to face you guys instead of just maybe splitting you guys up and having you guys scrimmage against each other.
Yeah, that's what they've had us do.
Yeah. So just like because that's not something that a lot of high schools or a lot of AAU teams do is kind of makes it like a signature thing for their practices where maybe every practice, almost every practice, you're going to face some top talent that's not even on the team and is probably like a lot older than you. Like kind of is that like a staple of the Mean Street practices?
I mean, I've only been here for about 2 months, but every practice, like, you just, you really can't come to, like, just mess around. Like, you have to, these kids will get all up in your grill. Like, they have, usually I'm guarded by this guy, Jeremiah Williams from Temple. And,
Oh
like,
yeah.
he'll get up in my grill. If I miss a shot, he'll make sure I never forget about the shot the rest of the day. So, like, that's just types of players that you need to play against in order to take another step in your game, I think. And it's really hard to beat them if you don't play together and you don't play hard. So it helps.
Yeah, that's funny. I actually did an interview with Jeremiah Williams like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that's crazy. I had no idea. Well, but isn't he? I thought he was because when I asked him, like he was on campus at Temple when I interviewed him. So I don't know, like
I think
when.
he just I have no idea. He was at our tournament the like last weekend. So I don't really know. He just shows and goes sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know how like they do like all those like they're always traveling. Like, I don't know like how or whatever, but maybe I'll kind of understand what it's like in the future. But something that you've been bringing up is like just practicing, in the practices. But a lot of AU teams, that's almost like a signature to AU basketball, at least with EYBO. Like the team that I'm kind of close with, the Night Riders, they don't practice. Like they have guys from all over. Like they don't have time to practice. So are you guys, kind of all in the same area, like very close? And how beneficial is it that you guys are able to practice with each other and everything?
Uh, it's I wouldn't say we're that close. Like I live like an hour and 15 minutes away from the gym. We have guys from Michigan that have to fly into practice, but you can't just not practice. I don't think like it'll be really hard. Like if I never had practiced with these kids, like I think it would be really hard to create like a genuine bond, like with them and be able to play with them on the court. And also like we have workouts that a bunch of us go to. Like we're basically at Thornton, which is where we practice like 4 days a week. So it's not like it's like a college type situation.
Yeah. So which players on the team, I guess, can we say are like some of the guys you've really been able to become really close with since you just joined the team?
Yeah, I think everyone like has become really close with each other, but like the main guys I would say that I'm super close with are Ty and Cam. Those are the guys I usually like mess around with if we're going in smaller groups or doing something. Uh, those guys are just super nice, like down to earth people, and it's hard to be like that and not have an ego when you're getting offers from wherever you want. So
With circuit basketball, like that's what it is. What a lot of the players are like. Even you have a few Division 1 offers as well. Like it's a lot of top talent. You said this is your first year playing on any kind of shoe company or circuit team. So just like how different is it from whatever you experienced before? Because I'm sure it's like extremely different from what you were doing before.
yeah, I mean I wouldn't say it's that different because during the COVID time, like I've been playing with all those guys. Like the first time I like got asked like or recognized by a Mean Trees coach was at like the championship game of some tournament where it was like the Whitney Young team, which is where AJ Casey goes, and it was against like my team who wasn't that good. So I kind of just got the ball every time. But like I'm used to playing against guys like that. I always play against like pros and college players and like runs and stuff. So I thought I was ready right off the bat. Like the first tournament I started and averaged like 19, 20 points a game. So obviously when Ty came back, I came off the bench. So I thought I was ready right off the bat.
So it really didn't feel like that different because I mean I just know even from like I guess a fan or like the viewer's perspective, like normal AU basketball and circuit team basketball is a huge difference. Like it really didn't feel that way to you.
No, not really. It it doesn't really matter who I'm playing against. Like I just usually just play my game. So
Yeah. Well, like that's kind of like I guess easy for you to say, but it's like when the players are thousands of times better than they were before, like it has to be like you can't tell me like oh this feels the exact same as I'm playing against these like bums and like other tournaments. Like there's a big difference between bums and like the guys in circuit teams. So
yeah, I mean I would say the competition's a lot better. It's just it evens out because like you have really good players on your team. So
yeah.
I would say it evens out. I obviously it was still a big like change for me, like having to, and obviously made me had to work a lot harder, like on my own to be
Mhm.
as good as 5 stars. Like that's obviously where every basketball player wants to be. And when I saw him, I was just like, I used to always think every 5 star was damn near superhuman, but like when I saw him in person, I'm like, I think I could be this if I really put the work in. So that's what really I've just been striving to be better every day.
Yeah, and I kind of like how you like touch on that because it's like for even for you, like I guess you say the way I view you might be the way you view these 5 stars stuff like that. Like I feel like for every player I talk to, they kind of all view themselves the same as equivalent, and you kind of do as well. But just what's it like kind of meeting these like 5 star players and kind of like really being one of them?
Yeah, when I was like first introduced to all of them, it was all at separate times, and I just saw them at first, and I think back to the highlights and all that stuff that I've seen, and I saw them play in person. I'm like, wow, they're really good. Like I can't like argue against their stars. Like they would kill anyone in my school, but I definitely thought like I could compete with them like on every level. Maybe not athleticism, because Ty and AJ are just freaks of nature, but I definitely thought like right off the bat, like I was just gonna go with their throats. Obviously not like that because
Yeah.
I don't go with my teammates' throats, but like I wasn't gonna back down from anyone at practice or nothing like that. So that's just what I did.
Yeah. And I highly doubt the answer would be yes to this question, but I still kind of have hope. Maybe like, are you at all fans of any high school basketball players? Maybe ones that are like, a year older than you, or a couple years older than you, or no?
Uh, no, I can't really like be a fan of a high school.
Yeah, yeah. That's why like I had a feeling it was gonna be a no, but like I had a little hope because you were like saying like, oh, like 5 stars, whatever, and I'm like, hey, maybe he's kind of like me, but I guess not. And what you said kind of earlier too is like, oh, I was on this team, like they weren't that good, so I had the ball in my hands a lot and everything. But now you're on Mean Streets where this team is good. So what's it been like? 'Cause I know this has to have been a change, like having to completely change your role from being the star player on your high school team to now you're over there on Mean Streets, and you just got to be like a role player and everything.
Oh yeah, it's definitely been like a big change, but I just try to make a difference every time I go in the game. Like I'm not worried about when coach is gonna take me out or if I'm playing better than a certain player. Like I'm just focused on if I'm making the team better, if we're gonna win the game, and that's how I've always been with basketball. I just think the big difference is like with mean streets, I could have 5, 7, 10 points, and people will be coming up to me like, "Great game, kid." And with my fundamental U team, which is still a good team, they're on the UA Rise, which isn't really a circuit necessarily, but I could have 35 every game, and maybe one guy will come up to me and be like, "Yeah, you're pretty good." So it's a big difference.
Yeah, I do think if you had 35 every game, I'm pretty sure you get a lot more people. I think that's difficult to do is being consistent like that. But I definitely get what you mean. And you did say how your brother's playing college and everything. And you've brought up like playing college runs, stuff like that. So when did you start kind of getting involved in those and playing in a lot of college runs and everything?
Yeah, that was the COVID summer actually. I'm not gonna say any names or anything, but because I don't know if they were supposed to be doing this during the COVID situation, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna say there was a gym in my town, and a bunch of the players came because it's like 20 minutes away from Northwestern, and they would train and work out, and we would play. But now I go to, let's just say I play with them somewhere somehow. That's what I'm gonna leave it at.
All right, all right. So I guess we kind of call them like the secret runs, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whoever's playing these secret runs, I don't know if like maybe Michael Jordan's in it. Who I have no idea, but in these secret runs, like that must be kind of a big step, even from URBL playing against this supposedly top talent in these runs. So what are those like for you?
Oh yeah, so it's not like it's just like the Northwestern players and a couple other like high major or mid major players, but like it's really no. As I've said before, like I do not care like who I'm playing against. Like yeah, just yesterday, like I got in a big argument with one of the players, like, and I didn't care. He's like 260 pounds, and so I called him fat, and it made a whole, and he got really mad. It was a whole situation, but I really don't care. Like I do not care. Like when I'm on the court, like, I don't care what other people think of me, especially if they're on the other team. Like I don't care if they're 7'1" with Curry's shot and ball handling skills. Like it just doesn't matter because like I put in the work to be a good basketball player, and if someone plays better than me or dunks on me or crosses me up, like I'm just still the same kid that I was before I got crossed up or before I got dunked on. Like, I don't care. I could go for 20 in a game and I'll come back the next day and think I'll go 20 for 20. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Just real quick, like off the court now. Since you're not, on the court, do you at all regret calling this guy fat or anyway? Like, did you apologize or anything?
Oh no, I didn't apologize because he was calling me like a little boy. So like it's he kind of deserved it. He was pushing me the whole game. Like I don't really regret ever trash talking anyone, to be honest. Cause like if you're getting trash talked for a reason, like you did something to tick me off, but I was just trying to make the point, like I do not care who you are, to be honest. Like I'm gonna go at your throat as much as I can. Like there's a kid that is the Big Ten or projected to be like in the Big Ten All Conference, like he was this year, like the third team. But when he guards me, like I'm gonna go at him as much as if they put like a if a fundamental U kid like came over to guard me and he was slow and didn't know how to play defense. Like I'm just gonna go. I don't care if I get it stolen from me, as I've said before.
Yeah. And I guess you also don't care what the guy now thinks of you, like off the court too. Like, is this kind of done?
What you mean by that?
Like, because I'm assuming, since neither of you guys like apologize to each other, like I'm assuming he probably like doesn't like you anymore or anything like that. So I guess you don't really care like about that either.
Oh no, we're fine. Like off the like it's my boy, so like I can. He doesn't really care, but just when you get on the court, it's a lot different. But when we're off the court, we're boys again. Like nothing ever happened, and he's a grown dude. He's like 23 years old, so I don't think he's gonna hold a grudge against like a random 17-year-old kid. So
Yeah, yeah. I was curious because I was curious, like if you guys were still like I guess still friends and like that. I said it is really interesting just how heat in the moment like stuff gets just playing in those games and it is just crazy. Like on the court is a completely different thing than off the
yeah.
court. Like it's honestly kind of like magical in a way. But next year, even if it's just AAU season, what are you trying to prove, and what are some of your goals before you head off to college or to whatever that next level may be?
Oh yeah. That's a question I get a lot actually. Usually, I just say like I just it doesn't really matter. Like I don't really care, as I've said, what other people think of me. Just like I just want to have. I have a year and a half to like get as way better than what I am right now, and that's really all that I'm focused on. If you focus on, if you always think about coaches recruiting and all that stuff, like it, it could work, but like I think it'll come with just focusing on the goal, which is to get better at basketball and just be a better person on and off the court. Like that's really just what correlates with coaches wanting to recruit you. So I could go to the EYBL circuit and no one will offer me, and I'll just stay on the same grind. But obviously, I believe, I think I deserve the attention. I feel like everyone deserves what they have coming. So I feel like I deserve, hopefully, like a lot more offers and interest. But you know what? We'll see. Like I'm just gonna stay on it. So
For sure. And something you said a lot too, and kind of shows again because you call the guy fat. Like you don't care what people think of you, which I do believe. Like as for me too, like there's some things where I care what people think of me, but then also there's other things that I do where I don't care what anyone thinks of me, and I think that is kind of a good mentality to have at times. So why do you think that just I don't care what anybody thinks of me mentality is kind of an important thing to have?
I just think if you had that type of mentality, you just you can just be you. Like if you go into a because I used to be way different. Like I really just like maybe less than a year ago, like starting with my GBS season, I was just gonna be like, because I used to always care about what other people thought of me. Like when I was at the pro runs, I would just pass it to the other guy. Like, what if I mess up? Like, what if I do this wrong? Like, that's not the right mentality to have. And if I even had it sometimes in that, I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes in the mean street teams, like it would come back and I'll be like, should I take this shot and stutter? Like, and it's nothing but bad things that are gonna happen from it. So I definitely think if you had that mentality, and I'm really just trying to preach it into myself when I say it out loud. But if you had that type of mentality, you'll just like if you saw Luka Doncic. I don't know if you watched that game last night. He jacked up a 1 foot 3 pointer, like, and he didn't really because he just doesn't care like about what his coach like. He's like, I'm gonna make it. I don't care if I airball. Like if I think I'm gonna make it, it's the right shot. So that's
Yeah.
definitely what I.
I mean, I didn't watch the game, but I mean, I think in terms of that, you should probably care about what your coach said. Like don't be like overly. There's a difference between being cocky and not caring what people think about you. You know, like don't like be like, screw my coach. Like I'm just gonna shoot what I think is the right shot. You know.
No, no, you're definitely right on that basis.
Yeah.
Like you obviously it goes to a certain point, but it's mainly just like not focusing about like your hype and the coaches that like are
Mhm.
recruiting you. Because like every time after a bad game, I would just be like, I would tell my parents like, this school's like watch the game. I played so bad, they're gonna stop recruiting me. And like the coach, like they don't care about that. It's all about they're recruiting you for a reason, and the reason is that they know what you can do. Like they know I can score. The only reason they're coming to watch me is to see how I compose myself and how I can affect the game other than scoring because they know I'm a scorer. So if I shoot 0 for 7 that game, they've never stopped talking to me. Like there's no school that's ever just been like, "Hey Nick, I don't want to talk to you anymore."
Mhm.
So I just think that's interesting.
So since you did say like you're a scorer, but then you also like you kind of have like I don't care what people think about me like mentality. I'm wondering if you're in a game. Let's say you're with Mean Streets and you're like 0 for 5 right now. Are you maybe gonna try to just stop trying to shoot and score and maybe just make the smarter and then just maybe just not turn the ball over and just lock up on defense like instead, or are you still just always gonna try to get your buckets because you do know like that's what you're known for?
Yeah, I'm just at any time of the game, like when obvious. Let me just reiterate: when I say like I'm not gonna care what other people think, me being me is like making the smart play.
Yeah.
It's not jacking up crazy shots
Hmm.
or whatever. Regardless of if I'm 0 for 10 in the first minute, I don't know how that's possible, but say it happens some jolly way, like I'm just gonna when I take the 11th shot or when I get the ball again, I'm just gonna if I'm open, I'm gonna shoot it. If I'm not,
Okay.
I'm gonna make the right read. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So you're not gonna be thinking maybe a little more like again, not even in terms of whole mentality. Like we're well past that, but I just want to know like in terms of like being a basketball player. Like if I'm shooting like kind of bad, would you maybe choose like just to kind of give up on the scoring part and just be like, let me affect the game in other ways, or do you think it's so good to just keep on shooting?
So that's my mom.
Nah, no worries, no worries.
Uh, can you say that one more time?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll just get a couple more questions. Couple more questions left. But like just being a basketball player, like if you're doing bad on shooting and everything or and scoring, would you choose to just keep trying to score, or would you only do it if you're like wide open and go instead try to affect the game like in other ways if you could tell like just the ball's not going in for you?
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to score. Yeah, like if, cause like one of the like main people is like that does that so well as Cam. Like he'll come into a game like with no sleep and just like eating the worst food, and he'll just grab the ball and go 0 for 5 and airball 2 shots in the first 3 minutes, and then he hits one, and then there's no stopping from there. So like, a kid like that, like that's someone that kids should definitely like look up to and think like he really just does not care like, and that's the person that I'm trying to be like. I don't know if I've gotten to that point of like I don't care if it doesn't go in. Like it still nags me a little bit, but I definitely like have had games where I had like there was a game against New Trier, which is one of our rivals that
Yeah,
we
yeah.
like 7 or 8 points in the first half, and I ended up with 34. I was in the locker room just like, are we gonna win the game? It's just a normal. Like I'm just gonna reboot it in the second half, and that's what I did. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like a term like yeah, it is smart to keep because even like you might make the shots. You never know what's going to end up happening. Like I know like during the Lakers Suns games, like Jay Crowder was like sucking, but then he hit like a big three like and one to kind of give they ended up losing the game anyways. But like still, it was like one of the biggest shots. He was like 0 for 6 on three, but then hit like all of a sudden a crazy shot. Like you really never know what's going to happen. But I'm pretty sure it's like a proper. I think it's called like a shooter's memory. It's like no matter you make a shot, miss a shot, like you just completely forget about it and and just like move on to the next thing. I think it's like what like the terminology is called.
Yeah, I think that the best scorers, especially best basketball players, best athlete in any sport, is obviously they have to have a physical ability. I'm not saying it's all mental, but
Mhm.
the thing that makes someone from a star to a superstar is the fact that they can forget about mistakes and not
Yeah.
even like worry about be the same person that they were coming into the game.
Well, I wouldn't say for basketball, forget about mistakes, like because the whole point is to learn from your mistakes. It's more forgetting about like don't get down on yourself like in the middle of the game. Just kind of tell yourself, all right, I'll do this differently, and then bam, and then just forget about whatever happened that was bad. But obviously, like you got to learn and improve from your mistakes.
Yeah, that's true. I I just like to when I have a bad game, I just don't think about it. I just think about the good games that I've had, and
Hmm.
I just always like go back to that because it's really all basketball is a it's when you talk about the mental aspect, the 1% of the mentality is being smart, and 99% is just confidence, like with confidence. And if my confidence is down, my whole game is messed up. So I'm a big confidence player. Like there's a lot of guys that base their like Damian Lillard's one guy that they call a confidence player, uh, and I would say that I'm a confidence player as well. So I just try to forget about things that I've done. Like I'll still be like, oh, I could handle the ball better. Like when you're working out, like you know what you're not doing well. So when I'm working out, I'm always working on things that I don't do well. So I don't know. It's really
Yeah,
hard to talk about that.
yeah. I do understand what you mean though, and it's been cool. Like it's been cool, kind of getting to understand your whole mentality and everything. But I just kind of got one more question, kind of like wrap up the whole kind of interview and everything like that. It's a good closing question. What do you want your legacy to be like once you step away from the game of basketball?
Yeah. Honestly, like I want to say, like every other basketball player, like they all want to go to the league. So if that's what I end up doing, that's obviously the best case scenario. But whatever it is, like right now, I'm just focused on winning a state championship for the people of Glenview and for all my classmates and teachers that have like never seen GBS succeed in like anything really. We're really not that good at many sports, but I just want to like when people think about me, I just want them to think about a player that like always tried his hardest when he was on the court and was just a good guy and never yelled at his coaches or did anything like against his own team. Just someone that like like just someone that people can look up. Like when you say you want to look up to someone, just all the traits like having a good mentality and being a good player. Obviously, like I just want people to look up to me and be like, "That's who I want to be one day." And obviously, it may not come to that. Like I'm, I just I hope it comes to that. I have a lot to work on for me to be like, oh, I want to be like him one day. Like my coach will say that to like the little third graders that come to our school and be like, you want to play
Yeah,
like Nick one day, but in reality, I don't know a single kid from let's say Florida that's oh I want to be like Nick Martinelli one day.
yeah,
So like, and I don't really care how many people. It could be just one single person that's just like he changed like the way that I see things, like, and he's someone that I want to look up to and base my game off of. Just it doesn't matter. Like it could be if I do go to the NBA, it's thousands of people. If I don't, and say I get injured in high school or something like that, God forbid, knock on wood. But like I just it's I don't know. I think God has a plan for anybody. So and I think he has a plan for me. And if it's be an NBA basketball superstar, then that's it. If it's not not succeed in basketball and I still want to stay on the game anyways, like be a coach or whatever. But I think like hopefully like all the hard work pays off one day, and I can just relax and just be like, I did everything that I tried my hardest, my absolute hardest, and I deserved what I worked for. So
Yeah, definitely. Well, anyways, one thing, are you like a big like superstitious guy? Because I know you like knocked on wood and everything. I don't know, like, are you like super superstitious or what?
I'm not really that superstitious. Just when it comes to talking about injuries,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No,
Other,
I'm not like I'm like the biggest superstitious guy, but like, do you watch like college football or no?
yeah,
Yeah, so like when the Miami Hurricanes were doing like really really good.
yeah,
So my whole life, like they basically sucked. And that one year they were doing super good, and they lose. Actually, no, they didn't lose. They were undefeated, playing Pittsburgh, final game of the season. They were like the number 3 seed or 2 seed, and they were losing. My mom she goes, "Oh, it's fine. They'll come back. They always come back." And I'm like, "Mom, like knock on wood, like now." And she wouldn't knock on wood.
oh,
Bro, I was
man,
crying. I was pissed. Like she made me leave the house and like take a walk around my neighborhood. Like I was so I told this day like it's her fault they had that bad season. I was very very mad. Yeah,
yeah,
I could not
that's a
believe
little
that,
over the line.
bro. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that was very annoying. Like, whatever. That was my whole life, man. She's whatever. She's a great mom. So that's the worst thing she's ever done. Uh, can't really complain. But anyways, man. Again, made it to the end of the interview. Kind of a tradition I have. I see your Instagram. You got the number 99 in there, and since I'm going to plug your Instagram right now at the end of the interview, I got to ask this first. The number 99. What is that? What does that mean? And why is it in your Instagram?
Like that's because when I was younger, that was just the number that I used to wear. It was my favorite number, so I only liked it because no one else really wore it. Everyone would
Yeah.
pick like number 5 and I like
Mhm.
99.
It definitely is like an interest. Like I don't think many people wear. I don't even know if there's anyone in the NBA that wears 99. Like, is that? Do you have you worn that number recently or no?
No, I moved down to 33 because that's what my brothers wore in high school. So
Okay, yeah, that's also kind of an interesting number. I feel like the bigger the number is a little more like weirder. But do you think if you make it to the NBA, are you gonna pick 99? You think is your number if you can?
I mean, if I made it to the league, I might as well wear number 99. Be the first player to wear number
Yeah,
99.
and then even if like you end up like be like a complete bust, like you'll be one of those like meme players that like
Yeah, the
people
guy
like.
that's not.
Yeah, yeah. Like you'll be that guy. Like there'll be like Twitter page where it's like random NBA players, and it'll be like you, like number 99.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. All right, man. Well, anyways, really appreciate you for taking your time, letting me interview and everything. Means a lot. But yeah, make sure you guys give us a follow on Instagram at Nick_Martinelli 99. And I hoop down anyways for 2022 Glenbrook South shooting guard Nick Martinelli. I'm Isaac Fleischer, and this has been another I Hoop Self interview. Peace out, guys.